CoinEmbed is a simple embeddable tool used for taking payments online. It works with both the Stripe and Coinbase Commerce APIs to allow you to easily accept both USD and cryptocurrency in your project or website. In addition, CoinEmbed offers an internal payment processor to also accept payments using the cryptocurrency Nano. This integration generates a seed that you hold and isn't stored on the CoinEmbed servers, so you get complete control over your funds. Combining all three of these methods gives you a really nice tool to allow your customers to pay on your website however they want. To get started, I'm going to register a new account, and because this project is relatively new, I want to make sure I get on the newsletter list, so as more features are added, I'm informed. Now, the first thing I want to do when I'm in my account is I need to create a payment method. You'll see if I go to a widget or anything else, I'm immediately directed to the payment methods page, because at this point I can't create a widget if there's no way that I've set up for somebody to pay me. If I want to get paid through Stripe, I could go into the Stripe payment method and enter my public and private keys. Now, if you don't already have a Stripe account, just go to stripe.com, register a new account. Their setup process is really simple. Once you're all set up, you can go to this API keys section, and you'll be able to create a publishable key, and then you'll be able to create a restricted key. And through this restricted key, you can allow CoinEmbed to only access the charges. API keys, I put those in, and there we go. Now I can save those settings. And so now you'll see that I have Stripe enabled, and I can go into this widgets section and create a new widget for Stripe. And we'll say this is a widget that accepts only credit cards. So I can enable Stripe. I have a little sample of what that will look like, and I'll click Save. So now I have a way to pretty much pay through just Stripe, through your normal credit card payments. So if I go to Show Embed Code, we kind of see a little snippet, as well as a demo of what this would look like to the end user. Now, of course, this isn't terribly different than if you were to use the Stripe API yourself and build a simple front end for that. So let's make this a little bit more complex and add Coinbase Commerce as well. So I'm going to go back to my, under my accounts, I'm going to go to my payment methods, and I want to click on Coinbase Commerce. So just go ahead and set up your account, and then from your account, you can go into Settings. Let's see. Scroll all the way down to where you have API keys, and you'll be able to create a new API key for CoinEmbed to use. So I'm just going to grab one of the ones I have here on my demo account, go back and put that in, and save. So now I have the ability to create a widget that contains both Coinbase Commerce and Stripe. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, just for the example, I'm going to keep that widget there. I'm going to create a new one, and we'll call this one CC or Coinbase Commerce. And Coinbase Commerce allows you to take a number of payment methods. For this example, I'm just going to select Bitcoin, Ethereum. We'll go with Bitcoin Cash, and let's say DAI. And I also want to make sure, you'll see if I have no other payment options selected, it's just giving me the Coinbase Commerce screen. But if I also want a credit card payment, we now have this selector between the two options. So when the customer goes on here, they'll be able to select which option they're going for. I'll hit Save. And now we have this credit card or Coinbase Commerce payment widget available. And this would be nice as well. If I go in here, I can see an example. Let's say maybe I want to pay with Bitcoin. I click here. I have the options that we allowed for it. So I'll click Bitcoin, and there we go. There's the Bitcoin amount that's to be expected for this. So let's go back to our payment methods one more time. Nano's a little bit different because it's not offered currently by Coinbase Commerce. So CoinEmbed has an internal payment processor to help make integration with Nano as easy as possible. So there's a few more steps involved, and this mainly has to do with making sure that you own your private keys. This isn't saved on CoinEmbed, So every time you want to move all of the funds that were paid to your main account to a single address that you own, there's going to have to be an extra step involved. So I'm going to go here to set up my payment method. When CoinEmbed sets up your Nano account, we'll generate a seed. We will set that up with 1,000 addresses, and as new payments are being made to your system, each payment is going to be sent to a different address. This is a similar functionality to something like the Coinbase Commerce API. So this process is essentially just generating a seed for you. So there we go, there's our seed. Tuck that away somewhere, confirm that you saved it. In this next step, we're just verifying that we have that seed. So wherever you copied it to, go ahead and paste that back in and click verify. At this point, we've generated 1,000 accounts using that seed. So if I click save and continue, we'll now see the final step is just saying, where do we want these funds to go after this process? Grab that one, and there we go. So now I'm all set up with Coinbase Commerce, Nano, and Stripe. So I'm going to put some tests through to each of these examples to give you an idea on how this works. So let's go ahead and make a new widget. And this will say, we'll just call this our website payments. And this would be any sort of payment we take on the website. We can alter this product name, product image, product price on the website itself. So once we embed this, so at this point we don't have to worry about this. The only thing we need to do here on this screen is worry about what payment methods we want to take. So let's say Bitcoin, Litecoin, and you'll see for a lot of these examples, even though I don't personally use Bitcoin Cash, out of these options, it's usually the one that's easiest to test because it has the least amount of fees. So I'm just going to go with Bitcoin Cash. Let's do Ethereum Tubable. Similar to if I had the option to use Nano, obviously that would be what I want to do if I'm testing Coinbase Commerce, but at the time they don't offer it, so that's fine. But since Nano has 0 fees, out of all of these, this is going to be the easiest to test. So let's go ahead and save. I now have this website payments widget created, and if I go to show embed code, I'll see some examples on how to add that to my website. But for now, we can just use our test feature here. So this will actually, this embeds it directly into the CoinEmbed system. So what you're seeing here is what you would be seeing on your own website. So if I just go here to credit card, I can make a credit card payment. Stripe, if you're using a test key, you have certain credit card details you can use to put tests through. I'll click submit, and there we go, my payment's complete. And I can actually see that if I go into my Stripe account, we have a new 99-cent payment that just came through. Now on your side, you're also going to see in your transactions tab all of these different payment events that come through. You'll see our latest website payments has come through with 99 cents, and they use Stripe, and the status is completed. If I click View Details, you're going to see a lot of the information that you would see if you were to use the API yourself. So let me go back to widgets. I'll click Show Embed Code for the widget again, and now I want to do the same thing with our example here. I'll use Bitcoin Cash, again, just because the fee is going to be relatively low. And let me load up my wallet. There we go, it says it's sent, and perfect. So it is coming in. It's currently in the process of confirming the transaction, but we can see that I have that pending. Now, this can happen in the case of Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash or Ethereum or whatever, but we're going to have a situation where we're waiting for the user to take payment. So this is a setting that you can essentially apply how you want to check to see if it's fully confirmed or not. But on the user endpoint, after I've made that payment and it's just in the waiting process, I can click I've finished, and there we go. So now I'm at the transaction complete step. Go back to Coinbase Commerce, I'll click on payments, and I should see our pending 99-cent payment come through. So then finally, let me just refresh this page. We'll do that one more time with Nano. Now the difference here is, of course, Nano doesn't have any fees, and it's very, very fast. Whenever I'm trying to test this out, I'm usually going to stick with Nano just because that way I pretty much send it to myself. I get it back, I send it, I can just bounce that payment back and forth and don't have to worry about taking fees along the way. Very, very easy to test this stuff out. So in this case, I'm just going to load up my Natrium wallet. Let's go ahead and put my password in, and it's sending, and it says it's sent. So there we go. So instantly, now with this, there was no pending step. As soon as that came in, it's confirmed, everything looks good. So how do we go ahead and see those payments or see what has come in? So I'm going to go back to my payment methods page, click on Nano, and you'll see we have this, now that we're all set up here, we have this second step at the bottom, ready to move funds to your consolidation address, which is this one up here. So essentially it's saying, every time you get new payments, they're all going to different addresses. So that's not going to be usable. How do we get them all to this single address that we're using as our own private address? So the first thing we want to do is put in that word list that we initially grabbed up front when we created our account. So again, this is why it's so important that you keep the seed, but you go ahead and put that in, click continue. And it's another good reason to do this step fairly often. Depending on how often you're getting payments, essentially you want to come in here before all of these accounts are filled. Now, unless you're getting hundreds of payments a day, it might not be something you have to worry about. But for now, as long as all of your accounts are cleared, you're good. But you'll see I now have in this address, which was the one we displayed to the user and just paid, I can go here and into Nano Crawler. If I click the link here, that'll open up Nano Crawler, and I can see that we have received some Nano. And it's currently in the pending step because we need your seed to receive that and then also forward out. So you'll see we could do this individually. I could click Retrieve Pending, and then after it receives, I would have an option to send that balance over. But we also have a Move All Funds to Consolidation address. And what this is going to do is loop through every single step. If you have 10, 20, 30, 100 accounts here, it's just going to run through the process of receiving each one of those payments, processing it, and then sending it to that consolidation address. And you'll see if I go to Nano Crawler while it's doing this, it has indeed received it. So now we actually have that Nano in our account. And it takes a little bit longer to actually send that out since we need to generate the work and everything else. But you'll see within a few, could be, anywhere from a few seconds to a couple minutes if you have a lot of these. If I refresh this now, actually, so there we go. You can see it right away. It sent that out, and it sent it to, if I go back up here, the 1GD7, it sent it to my account that I wanted. So that would do that through each step of the process. And you'll see at this moment now, there's nothing else I can do. All my payments are set. So you just want to check this later on. In the future, we're going to be adding some email notifications. So, if your accounts are starting to get full, we'll just send a reminder to clear those out. Now let me just go back to the widgets page one more time and go to show embed code. So if you're adding this to your website, there's a second step that we need to look at. Because you can see you can embed this to your website. You can take payments, and then after that payment takes place, you can call a JavaScript function to run. So in this case, we're calling a payment complete, and I'll send this one more time. There we go. And you can see our payment complete function on this page, all it does is alert a CoinEmbed token. But this is actually something that if you're doing an additional step, let's say this isn't just something like a donate form, you're actually trying to let the customer purchase a product, enable a subscription, or some other service, you need some sort of back-end way to make sure that this payment wasn't faked. So let's say, someone just called this front-end function just through JavaScript on your website directly, and they're passing some sort of fake CoinEmbed token along. You don't want to just assume that this is a valid payment right off the bat. So CoinEmbed has an API to get details about that transaction afterward. So that CoinEmbed token that I had just received in that previous function, I would pass to this API endpoint, and I can see some details about that transaction. I can confirm that it was complete, that, if you want to make sure it's not just pending at this point, you can do that, and then do whatever you would want to do on your end to confirm it. One thing we also see is at the very bottom of this widget is a sponsor tag. And that's because I'm currently using the free version of CoinEmbed. So if I want to get rid of that and also support the project, if you like what I'm doing, you can go to billing, and you'll see we can very easily get a X number of month subscription and use CoinEmbed itself to pay for your CoinEmbed subscription by sending along some Nano, and there we go. So now I am all paid up until next year, and if I go back to my widget screen and test it out once again, you'll see that little advertisement is gone.